All right, let's take a look at number 10. You have g of x equal to ax squared plus 24. For the function g defined above, a is a constant and g of 4 equal to 8. What's the value of g of -4? All right, so this is a function question. And they said a is a constant. So a lot of students have question on like, it says a is a constant. What does that mean? Well, the constant is just representing certain number. Okay, so this is a constant, so that is not a variable. Unlike x, right? X can represent any number as a variable, but constant it just represent one number. Okay, we don't know what that number is, but if we solve for a, right, whatever number we get, that's a number we'll use for this question. Okay, so a represent that number. So a is a constant. It's just saying a represents a certain number. Okay, we don't know that right now, but we could solve for it later on using the information they give us. Okay, and we have this g of x function is ax squared plus 24. And they told us g of 4 equal to 8. So what we can do is we can go ahead and plug in the number. So remember g of x, this is a function notation, right? So this is the same as the y value pretty much, right? So it's telling us if we're plugging x into the g function, right? This is a g function here. So whatever in the parentheses, that's what we're plugging in. So let me just rewrite this here. So inside the parentheses, that would be our input. So we have g of 4. So that means if we're plugging 4 for x into the function, this whole thing should equal to 8. Right, g of 4 equal to 8. So 4 is our input, and then 8 is our output. All right, so we're plugging 4 into the function. This whole thing is supposed to equal to 8. So we can just say, when you plug in 4 for x, right, the function is equal to 8. So you can say a equal to 8 times 4 squared plus 24. All right. So the 4 is like our x value that we plug in, and a is like the y value that we get after we plug into the equation. All right. So what we can do by plugging in this point here, we can actually solve for a using this equation. All right, so let's do that. So we can first do minus 24 on both sides. They will cancel there. And then a minus 24 negative 16 equal to a times 4 squared, which is also 16. And then to solve for a, we can divide by 16 on both sides. We get a equal to -1 there. Okay, a equal to -1, but that's not a final answer. We still have to solve for g of -4. So g of -4 means we're going to plug in -4 into the function. All right. So g of -4, we're going to plug in -4 into the function, into our axis, right? It'll be a times -4 squared plus 24. Right, we're not doing any math on the left side. It's not g times -4, right? So it's just a function notation, g of -4. And then to solve from here, since we know what a is now, right? We just solved it. A is -1. Let's go and plug in -1 for a here. Okay, so this will give us -1 times -4 squared plus 24. To solve this out, I mean -1 times -4 squared is the -4 times -4, which is positive 16 over here. And then plus 24. We do have to multiply before we add. So it'll be -16 and -1 times 16, -16 plus 24. And that's equal to 8. All right. And this will be our final answer for this question. So 8 will be it for number 10.